The Labour Party faces an internal crisis as around 130 MPs rebel against proposed welfare cuts. This revolt threatens Keir Starmer's leadership and highlights deep divisions within the party. The cuts aimed at saving £5 billion face fierce opposition for potentially harming the most vulnerable. This ideological clash could have lasting impacts on British politics. At the heart of the rebellion lies Universal Credit, the UK's controversial social security programme. Introduced in 2013 to simplify the benefits system, Universal Credit has been plagued by problems from the outset. Delays in payments, bureaucratic hurdles, and punitive sanctions have pushed many claimants into hardship, drawing condemnation from charities and opposition parties. Now, the Labour government's proposed cuts to Universal Credit have ignited a firestorm of protest. One of the most contentious aspects of the planned cuts is the reduction in the health element of Universal Credit. This element provides financial support to disabled people and those with long-term health conditions to help them meet the additional costs associated with their conditions. Campaigners warn that cutting this vital lifeline will leave disabled people struggling to afford essential medication, specialized equipment, and accessible transportation. This, they argue, will lead to a decline in living standards and force many to rely on already stretched social care services. The government insists that the cuts are necessary to make the welfare system fairer and more affordable. They argue that the current system is too complex and creates perverse incentives that discourage work. The proposed reforms, they claim, will simplify the system, make work pay, and ensure that benefits go to those who need them most. However, critics remain unconvinced, questioning the government's commitment to social justice and accusing them of balancing the books on the backs of the poor and disabled. The outcry against the proposed welfare cuts has been swift and fierce. Leading the charge are the 130 Labour MPs who have publicly voiced their opposition. These MPs, many representing constituencies with high levels of deprivation, argue that the cuts are morally wrong and economically unsound. They warn that the cuts will push families further into poverty, increase homelessness, and have a devastating impact on the most vulnerable in society. Adding to the chorus of condemnation are numerous charities and advocacy groups representing disabled people, carers, and those living in poverty. They argue that the cuts will have a disproportionate impact on disabled people who already face significant barriers to employment and social inclusion. The cuts, they warn, will exacerbate existing inequalities and undermine the government's own commitments to disability rights. The government's response to the growing backlash has been muted. Ministers have defended the cuts as necessary but have so far refused to budge on the substance of the proposals. They insist that the reforms are designed to make the welfare system fairer and more efficient. But their assurances have done little to quell the anger and anxiety felt by many. The government's intransigence has only served to embolden the rebels and fuel accusations that the Labour Party has abandoned its traditional values. In the intricate dance of politics, every step must be meticulously calculated. Leaders find themselves constantly maneuvering through a landscape fraught with hidden dangers and unexpected turns. It's a delicate balance, where one wrong move can lead to significant setbacks. The stakes are incredibly high, and the pressure is immense. Yet, it is in these trying times that true leadership is tested and ultimately defined. As the nation teeters on the edge, the weight of decisions to be made becomes almost palpable. The choices facing its leaders are nothing short of monumental, with far-reaching consequences that could shape the future for generations. It's a moment of profound uncertainty and unparalleled significance. The eyes of the world are watching and history is waiting to be written.